The morning of October 23, 2025, changed everything. For months, General Motors believed Canada would do what it always does: complain, then move on. After all, billions had already been invested into transforming Ontario's Kami plant into a symbol of the electric future. The bright drop van was supposed to lead that future. But then, GM pulled the plug. It started with a temporary shutdown in October 2025. Weak demand, they said. Workers were told to wait, to trust the process. But weeks turned into months, and the silence from Detroit grew louder. Then came the final blow. In early 2026, GM made it official: the plant was shutting down permanently. Just like that, more than 1,200 workers were left without jobs. And GM expected Canada to stay quiet. They were wrong. Within 72 hours, Ottawa responded, not with words, but with action. Led by Mélanie Joly and François-Philippe, the government made a move that shook the entire auto industry. They cut GM's duty-free import quota. That triggered a massive 25% tariff on every US-built GM vehicle entering Canada. Overnight, everything changed. A truck that was affordable suddenly became overpriced. A vehicle that sold easily became hard to move. Dealers struggled. Customers walked away. And GM's profits in Canada started collapsing. But GM wasn't alone. Stellantis was hit even harder, losing up to half of its duty-free privileges after shifting production out of Canada. This wasn't random. Canada had planned for this. A new policy framework had already been created, simple but powerful. If companies invest in Canada and create jobs, they get tariff-free access. Break those commitments, and penalties hit automatically. And GM had just crossed that line. Back in 2022, the company accepted billions in public funding. They promised jobs. They promised long-term production. Workers retrained. Communities depended on it. Then GM walked away. That's what triggered the response. And the impact spread fast. A $45,000 vehicle suddenly jumped to around $55,000 in Canada. That price gap pushed customers toward competitors like Toyota and Hyundai. Sales dropped. Inventory piled up. Losses started growing. And the pressure didn't stop there. GM was given 15 days. Not to explain, but to present a real plan to restart production in Canada. No vague promises. Real timelines. Real investment. That's when reality hit. Because GM suddenly realized it had no backup plan. The bright drop vans had nowhere else to go. Supply chains were disrupted. And every day that 25% tariff stayed in place, millions were being lost. Restarting production in Canada suddenly became the cheaper option. That's leverage. And the ripple effects were immediate. Ford began reconsidering its Canadian investments. Stellantis reshuffled leadership. And GM quietly reached out to officials to explore a return. In just weeks, everything flipped. For years, corporations held the power. They could move factories, cut jobs, and demand incentives. Governments had little choice but to accept it. But this moment changed that. Canada showed it's willing to enforce its rules. That commitments matter. That breaking promises comes with real consequences. And the world is watching. Because this isn't just about one plant. It's about a bigger shift, where governments push back, and corporations are forced to rethink their strategies. The real question now is, what happens next? If you want to stay ahead of global power shifts like this, subscribe to the Untold Compass and hit the bell icon, because the next move could be even bigger.